This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all it counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd. Here with me, I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Here on a Tuesday night, and lots of stuff in the world of pro wrestling has happened this week, is on the verge of happening. I was in my hometown over the weekend, did a lot of like excellent family things or whatever. I was with all my siblings except one, literally, which is it's rare. It was the first time I ever got a picture with all of my dad's children all at the same time, which is kind of crazy. Obviously, like I talked about the end of last week, we did the memorial for my dad. I got it uploaded in an unlisted link and all of that. But it was a really nice time. A lot of people said they really enjoyed themselves and they thought I did a great job kind of, facilitating all this stuff. The staff at AIC was awesome, and it was so good to see everybody, and gave a great speech. And it was hard. It was really tough. My niece had to walk up there during it just to make sure I was all right. But did some partying at MGM Springfield, which is a casino up there. It was awesome. Went bowling on Sunday. Went to my all my old parks, and definitely got all the local food that I enjoy and all that. It was, I went to the Hall of Fame over the weekend, saw the Kobe exhibit for the first time. Thought it was really cool. First time I had been to the Hall of Fame in like 20 years. I used to go all the time when I was a kid. It is just so awesome, the stuff that you see in there, all the great gear and memorabilia, and just some of the, like, it's like, yeah, man, this is like where these guys, they end up. Like, if you're a fan of basketball at any point, I recommend definitely go to the Basketball Hall of Fame for sure. And it was like I really got to say goodbye to my dad, so I was pretty happy overall about the trip. Saw all of his friends, and it was just a joyous occasion, and I'm glad that I kind of got to talk to the audience here about it before I did it, because I think I was a little bit more comfortable. So, but yeah, that was my weekend. I did watch Carolina Duke too, also with my brother Taryn, who's a North Carolina fan. He had fun.
I mean, it was start to finish, so I mean, it wasn't one of those, like, it's weird. Like, Carolina Duke, except for like some of them years when like Carolina's down, like it's always like a back and forth game. You normally always get like a really close game, at least one of them, and like this just wasn't one of those where it's like, and it's weird because like normally like Cameron is always so fucking hard to like get a win in, but whatever. Wire to wire. I think the last time there was a wire to wire win on Cameron was Coach K night. So, and K was in the building, and it was like, hey, like when is the support staff can be like, hey, K, we love you and everything, but like you can't be coming to senior night on even years when Carolina's in town, because you seem to be a bad fucking luck piece right now. But I wonder how long that continues. Like, if it happens at 20, how long does it continue? Like 3 in a row, 4 in a row before they be like, hey, don't bring
I think by the third one he'll get the message.
All right. Let's see. 2026. Let's go. Let's get it. Kick you out your home.
Oh,
You're not welcome here no more. You ain't coaching no more? What you showing up for?
I mean, it is his court. It is his court. You know, it do say Coach K court on that bitch. So.
That's true. That can be changed.
What? Who they gonna change it to? Who they gonna name it after? Kyrie Irving?
I don't know. What do you like? Hey,
Grant Hill?
Hey, we trying to keep this low. We're not trying to tell you. We ain't trying to let nobody know that you ain't welcome when Carolina ain't here. But we lost 3 in a row. Enough.
Wow.
At least you'd be like, hey, 2026 or 2028 or whatever. If 2026 that loss happens, right? 2028, you'd be like, hey, ain't none of these your players no more. What you showing up?
Yeah.
This ain't homecoming. Bring your ass to homecoming. We play Miami or somebody and beat their ass. You know,
that was funny. I went to Dynamite this week. I guess we should jump right into that. There's a lot of newsworthy stuff in there. I was there in person, ringside. Some people captured me on screen, caught me going crazy and all that. I haven't watched the show back or anything, but it was definitely a needed outing. And man, this was just like one of the best Dynamites I can remember, especially like being in person, like the Ospreay and Fletcher match, the whole Okada angle. This felt like AEW New Year's Dash. They set up so many like great directions kind of with figuring out short-term stuff, long-term stuff, and just putting stuff together like and shaking it up. And I guess, you know, I got to go backstage after the show. You guys can see kind of behind me, I got the ever elusive Big Riho picture. That was very, very cool. She was very nice. Out there, you know, I'm walking around the corner. All of a sudden, Kazuchika Okada just like pops out, and I'm like, huh? Oh, holy shit, you're Kazuchika Okada. And he says the same thing. Holy shit, you're Rich Latta. Like, and you know, it was an exchange of culture right there, you know, pretty much. And we flicked up. And then
next time you'll get the jersey swap. Next time we get the jersey swap.
You know, Ospreay comes out, finishes with Kyle Fletcher, and he's standing next to me 15 minutes later. I was like, bro, just thank you for the match, man. That shit was crazy, bro. Like, then of course, you know, flicked up with Swerve and all that, and we hung out after. But yeah, man, this was it was great being backstage. Saw a lot of people backstage, lot of people backstage. But as far as the show, it was hot in the building. The people that were there, they've got to get.
Hey, folks! Abrupt editing note. Rich got cut off in the middle of his point during the podcast and during the stream, and actually the audio is worse during the stream. So I'm going to do my best to assume that he was trying to say that AEW needs to do a show in Metro Atlanta, and when he do it in Metro Atlanta, it needs to be inside the 275 ring around the city, not way up there in the northeast Atlanta outskirts. So yeah, back to the show.
Into Atlanta. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to drive a distance or anything, but it's just so inconvenient. It's like if you're going up to Duluth, you live in Duluth. If you're going up there, oh no, we're going to reconnect. Shit. We are seeing. Shit. We're getting disconnected on OBS. Okay, we'll keep going. But it's just so far away from the normal traffic. If you get to Atlanta, I think they draw way better there. I want to say there's probably about 3,000 people in the building, but that hard cam side, all, you know, going up the walls, all that was empty. And I don't know, man, they gotta figure something out with that, but I'll throw it back to the energy of the crowd. Like the crowd was like, the two most over people were Swerve and Ospreay. And the Okada thing popped a lot of people. And I was, you know, both hands in the air when he does the turn on Kingston. It was crazy because I was like, this is exactly what I wanted. Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks. This is amazing. There was a funny part where like Matt Jackson just kind of looks at me almost like, watch this, and then whole shit happens. But yeah, like I said, I'm front row. First time I ever sat front row. What did you think about this whole show, James?
I thought it was a great show, and I thought it was also formatted very similar to like 2010's Monday Night Raws. I'm sorry, 2010's Monday Night Raws. Not saying for quality, but just as far as like the layout, lots of talking segments. And like it was like, hey, you know, we've said this before at times, like with Collision or when Raw or SmackDown has a good episode, is like the problem ain't like necessarily the format. It is, you know, it is the bad content of the format that is more of a problem at times. And like this was a very, very talkative episode of Dynamite by AEW Dynamite standards historically over these now almost 5 years. It didn't matter because they were important. They were good talking segments. They moved you forward into what is the next chapter for AEW and what you're going to see on television over the next few weeks, and setting the course for Dynasty at the end of April or mid-April. And it seems to me that they have figured out that we need to do our work early. Now that they're doing more pay-per-views, they need to now, like, instead of having that time when it used to be 4 pay-per-views and it was like you just put on killer match for 2 or 3 weeks, or build towards a big TV match or whatever else, then we'll get to the pay-per-view build over a month or 6 weeks. Now it's like, coming out of pay-per-view, we're getting straight to it. And that kind of started with, from going from the TV cycle from World's End to Revolution, and it basically started right here immediately the first Dynamite after, Revolution getting to Dynasty. And I like what they're doing. Like, there's more urgency on the screen, and like pair it with the matches that we got, it was like, this is more proof like of concept. Like, it ain't necessarily that WWE has bad formatting. Sometimes, or a lot of the time, it is bad content, and people overlook that. So I thought it was a really, really strong show.
I guess we can start like for the newsworthy things. Swerve is the first guy out, super over.
Yeah.
Gives a babyface interview, kind of just like regret or expresses remorse for his actions. Kind of wonders if what he did was the reason why he got bad luck on him, why he didn't win a championship. But this whole thing is like clearly to elicit sympathy.
Yes,
and it was almost like, yeah, like I'm your guy now.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all are rooting for me.
Yeah, it is very much it is very much the tropey. Not to say it wasn't good, because it was really well done, but it's still that same like, I've made mistakes. This is part of making mistakes, right? And then he mentioned, he did the one thing that made me think of like Seth Rollins after when his knee started getting messed with 2017, like getting to the match at WrestleMania 33, where he's like, maybe I do deserve this. And I was like, you sound like Tank. Don't, it's just a me thing. You can't do the maybe I deserve Tank. You just can't. But outside of that, I thought it was a great promo.
They had Joe come out, and everybody's dressed for work. So, and then Joe basically was like, I won the belt, blah, blah, blah. And that Undisputed music hits, and all them geeks come out there.
Yes.
And, essentially, Adam Cole starts, trying to run Swerve down, and said he's going to fall off inside of 6 months. And I'm like, yo, you can't be projecting yourself on Swerve. No. Like, Swerve has other things going for him that you do not.
I got 2 things on this. Or get to the Swerve part of it. Do you remember Swerve's reply?
Yeah, he was like something about, he's like, Britt Baker, she need more clients. She got I forgot.
It was something along the lines of, I have Britt's burner phone number.
Correct. Well, I got Britt's second phone number, essentially.
All right.
Yeah.
So 2 things. I saw on Twitter over the week that because of all of this Undisputed Kingdom stuff, how how obviously bottom of the hour it is, and how bad the devil thing was. That people are now doing a revisionist history on like the overness or the aura there or lack thereof of Adam Cole. I was like, y'all motherfuckers is ruthless. He's in a fucking wheelchair. Of course he got no goddamn aura. What the fuck? What are we doing? What is this? So, but then we get to Swerve saying a line about he has Britt Baker's burner cell phone, and whether he does or does not,
should need more clients.
Yeah, look, I don't want to get into it. Fuck it, I do want to get into it. I don't believe it because there's nothing about Britt Baker I've ever seen that makes me think that her and Swerve are exchanging phone numbers and burner phone numbers. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave it at that and move on. But yeah,
you mean you saying we not for Britt?
I'm not saying we or anything. I'm just saying I don't think that's what Britt wants. Or that doesn't appear to be anything that Britt wants. So we were just talking about aura, right?
Yeah. So, oh my god.
Speaking of aura, we go from Adam Cole in a wheelchair who is supposed to have all the aura in the world, like he's Rick James, coming out of Studio 54. I just wanted to talk about how, in the NBA, there was I don't know what you call it, a gif, a meme, a moment where
it was a video.
LeBron on his day off is sitting next to what do they call him now? Governors. Laker main governor, Jeannie Buss, and I guess some other woman on the other side that appeared to be Jeannie's friend. And you catch LeBron politicking hard. He goes, first of all, happy International Day. And Jenny lights up and it puts a big old hug on LeBron on this. And LeBron was like, he got his hands visible. These are my hands are here and here, Officer Savannah. I did
Kurt Rambis' wife, Linda Rambis. I
did nothing wrong. Okay, that's what it was. So that immediately gets all the stuff. And then I saw one that said LeBron got aura, and it made me think like, I'm gonna put this up right when we started talking about Adam Cole, because I had just had to put it all together. So apparently, like, auraless, lose your aura, sit in a wheelchair. Be around two women, hee ha ha, and aura. It's
amazing.
It's just props. It's just props. That's all it is. Am I calling women props? In this particular instance, yes. But in real life, no, they're women. But I mean, this one, like, nothing to do with it, just props. Anyway, so back to lecture at hand.
So the main takeaway from this is Swerve is now a babyface, like officially. And I always enjoyed Swerve's work more as a babyface, but he got over to main event level as a heel, and this is something he believed in. Like, he needed to go heel in order to really like tap into his personality, and now he's flipping back face with that. I'm interested to see how that's going to work going forward, if he can just keep it that same level. So he's going to get the chance. It looks like he's going to be working with Joe going forward. He got laid out by him after they did a tag match with the Undisputed Dudes, the tag champs. What's their names?
Mike Bennett and your boy Taven.
Matt Taven. Yep. They whooped Joe's ass the whole match. Swerve basically used the comeback button on both of them and flawless victories. These niggas.
Yeah. I don't think it was that much of a struggle. It was more like he was home got into a little bit of an issue. And Joe didn't want to tag him in. Wanted to, felt like he could win comfortably without tagging in. Swerve was able to blind tag him, and then Swerve took him out with all of it. He did his hot tag, did all the hot moves, and it was like, this is a very WWE-ish type of thing. Like, we have a title, we have a challenger, a potential challenger, and a champion seemingly in a program. They get put together to tag together. They're one-upping each other against some geeks, and then one shows up the other one impressively and wins. Like, that is a very, like, go through that whole thing. It's like, this is a very WWE segment. And not to say it was bad or anything, but it was like, that's just what it was. And it's like, it just says AEW. Like, instead of the, they got the new, I'm sorry, as the girls from Toronto call it, they brought the holes back. Like,
the good boy hole. That's right.
The bad boy hole sounds crazier. So
It does.
it does. So like they got rid of the primary colors and like they're pretty much using secondary colors with like the purple and the orange. It's like, okay, all right. Like this is like the medium, like this is this is AEW 3.0 right now. So it was effective, very effective. Swerve was very over in the building and very over during the match as he got the win. And we're off to the race to see where this ends up.
In between all that, they set up Joe and Wardlow pretty much with Wardlow standing ringside. Swerve gets laid out by the belt. Joe puts his foot on him, holds the belt up. They announce Wardlow next week will be on television facing Samoa Joe. So that's going to be a big business. So to me, seemingly, they shot the angle of Swerve and Joe at Dynasty.
Does Wardlow have a, betting wise, if you want to set the odds, does he have a better or worse chance than Hook did against Samoa Joe at the time?
He has a worse chance because at least there was a Hook, or I think he has a worse chance than Hook.
I think so too. That's not good at all.
It's like they literally shot an angle in front of where Wardlow was standing.
Right. This ain't good. Like obviously do the match or whatever else, and they'll figure out how to go up. But
like
DOA,
Wardlow didn't
DOA.
like Wardlow didn't come in the ring and attack Samoa Joe after he attacked Swerve,
right?
Which I think might have been more effective for him. He just had to look at it.
Maybe. I mean, they're doing the match to do the match. Like I don't think anybody that is paying attention is under any misgivings that it could be Wardlow's world leaving out of big business. I just don't think that.
Wardlow has no chance until he grows his hair back.
I don't think it's gonna work out that well for him after this either. It's just the undisputed thing is just dead because the devil thing is so stupid, and also like having Adam Cole acknowledge that the only reason Joe you have the belts because we decided to was like I didn't forget that you and Wardlow are both dumbasses that don't like Joe and made him the champion because he liked some other guy even worse instead of actually getting the belt for yourself. You fucking idiots. Like, and then like you keep doing Adam Cole, like they're teasing like they're going to do Adam Cole versus Wardlow because they both want the title. It's like, how are you guys so dumb in like as characters that like I know that you're already teasing this out, but like y'all still, but these people are smart, the connive people, but dumb enough to realize like this is going to end up in, y'all have a match in the ring because y'all all after the same thing. Like the motivations are the motivations and then the tactics behind the motivations are so dumb, are so like short-sighted, and they make the characters look dumb.
So the next big thing that kind of happened on this show was they set up Kazuchika Okada's debut essentially with a Young Bucks special announcement. They're doing special announcements like Tony Khan, the whole backstage thing.
Yes, and also the stare and the pause. It was like, oh, are they gonna get heat? That's what I thought. Like, it's Tony. Well, then again, Tony would come out the bathroom and forget it even happened. So never mind. It's cool. It's fine.
But the Bucks come out and they basically get into this long speech about Sting and his sons that were 6'8" at 360 pounds, and that's why they lost. Young Bucks are on fire here completely. Just like I thought these guys couldn't talk, James.
I've heard that from a couple people or whatever. So I'm like, dude, Mac Jackson is one of the more effective promos of the last few years, or like since AEW started. So I don't know where people come up with this. They don't talk often, but when they do, Mac Jackson like gets you every time. He has his PR is through the roof.
Bro, I think they're on fire right now. Like they're burning.
Oh my god, the backstage stuff they're doing, all like that ends up on YouTube or on like the AEW like Twitter. Like the backstage stuff, it's great. It's great. Like they should probably do the backstage stuff, put it on TV, but they don't really like putting backstage stuff like that goes for long on TV. But if they did, it would help get Okada over as like this funny prickish heel. Because that's the direction they're going, but like it's funny. Like he's hilarious, like, yeah, Kia. No, Ferrari. it's going. Yeah. Like I did not want to boo Okada coming in, but like they've already changed my mind. Like they know better than me, and they're making it work. So whatever.
So so basically, Eddie Kingston comes out, and they've cut each other off a couple weeks in a row. Yeah. Backstage in promos, and Kingston basically threw some money at Nick Jackson, which is hilarious.
Him in the mouth.
Yes, threw it right in his face. That's an automatic, challenge to a fight in any world. From there they start, getting on him, and he's whooping them, and then all of a sudden that Rainmaker music, we start hearing that coin drop. People around me are absolutely shocked, James. They had no idea. Me, I was counting the minutes. I was like, all right, I think I thought they were going to announce Kazuchika Okada first.
That's what I thought too.
As soon as he came out there with Kingston, I was like, he's fucking turning. Like, right. I was like, I knew it. I know it.
Right. Obviously, it was funny because, like, you were, like, we always normally, a group of the guys from Largo Loop, from the NXT Largo Loop or whatever else, like, we messaged during Dynamite Lab, was, like, live talking about what's going on, or pay-per-views, whatever. And you were doing it, but, like, you're, like, maybe even, like, 3 minutes ahead of us. I was just like, hey, bro, you gotta chill. But I see the coin drop. I was like, no, he's coming in as a heel. Don't turn on Kingston. And also, I'm thinking back to maybe, I don't know how many people remember this or know this or care about this, but like the New Japan / strong lore is that like Kingston and Okada like have a friendship after like, or have a bond of like tagging and stuff against like people like Jay White. As much as even, beginning of 2023, even in late 22. So I was like, he's turning on someone that's actually like someone he's cool with. Like Kingston's called him in promos in a New Japan ring, like, or a New Japan strong ring, like the best or the greatest wrestler alive before. So it's like, damn, he's turning on someone as his homie. I was like, I mean, they're going to use that, but like, damn, that stinks that they going deep to it already. And I was like, okay. I hope they use all this stuff because they got the footage. I hope they use all of it because Rocky back there, they got the partnership. They should use all of it of them tagging together and be like, hey, he turned on me, he's a sellout, all that kind of stuff. I hope they use it.
I figured out what the Continental Classic belt was for like a few months ago. I felt like this is immediately going to Kazuchika Okada. He grabs Kingston, gives him the Rainmaker. I throw both fists in the air and yell, let's fucking go. Yeah. So loud that apparently it gets on the broadcast. Somehow it was clipped. I believe Zach Porter clipped it and sent it to me. I was dying. I see Okada and the Young Bucks together, and I'm just like, oh, and I totally forget. During the promo, they announced suspension for Hangman Page, and then they fire Kenny Omega from the Elite. Like, this is the setup for all this. So then Okada comes out, he's with them, and I'm like, Okada Omega 5. I'm like 1,000-yard stare, essentially. Like, Okada Omega 5. Okada Omega 5. Like, Wembley Stadium. just completely going into hypnosis, essentially. But yeah. Okada and the Young Bucks, I've always wanted them to team up somehow. I always thought it would be like a natural step at one point in whatever, the story between Okada and Omega is. And they've got Kingston in the short term. They set up a 6-man for big business with Pac, who returned on Collision, Eddie Kingston, and Penta against the New Elite with Kazuchika Okada. So, like, I don't know, man. I think the Elite, I already said the Elite's the greatest faction ever. Kazuchika Okada is now been, inducted, to the Elite, for all this time. Kazuchika Okada is with the Elite. James, one of the biggest reasons, I think there was some interview, was like the biggest reasons, like, he joined AEW.
It was Sports Illustrated Just Barrasso.
Was because the Elite are here.
Yeah.
Imagine I saw someone like, imagine if they decided, yeah, we're gonna keep CM Punk. They would have lost the Elite and Kazuchika Okada to WWE. Disgusting.
Oh boy.
So he takes Kenny's spot. He's essentially a silent EVP or whatever. Whatever.
In kayfabe. Yeah.
But this is so cool. Like, there's so many things they can do with this, because he can easily slot into being a heel wrestler.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other baby faces of service right now, between Swerve, between Ospreay, who we'll get to later.
Yeah.
And with him, he's protected in the booking by the Bucks. And obviously he can wrestle as a trios wrestler and kind of bide his time. And then, like, once he picks up that Continental belt, that's essentially the Kazuchika Okada World Championship.
Right.
And he's going to hold that bitch, and it's just going to be super matches for that thing. This is a slam dunk 100%. If you was hating on this, I don't know what you're hating on,
I mean, there was obviously, you bring in anybody that's that level of talent and that type of reputation internationally, you bring them in and you say you're going to have to figure this out for American television, it's always going to be people having questions. I think that's fair, right? But once you see in week 1, you see proof of concept, they're putting them with, one of the biggest drawing acts in the company. They're kayfabing how much he's getting paid and make it sound like they're paying him so much that he's too big to fail. And you see, like, the Kingston thing, as you mentioned, and how they already set the tournament for him. Like, yeah, it seems like they already have, like, the whole year set out for him. And then, they'll worry about, because, then you throw in the part where they didn't just fire Hangman. They didn't just fire Omega. They also fired Hangman, which means, like, there's going to be a Hangman thing probably after the Omega 5 match is over with. Like, they're set. They got to do the work. They got to punch it in, but, like, they already have a plan in place for him. Like, we always worry about when they bring in, when anyone brings in a talent that either should be a featured act or whatever else, like, what are the plans for them, right? And, like, it appears like they already got, like, the first 6 months under control already. So I'm very happy there's a plan in place, not just like some, very talented guy. We'll bring him in and, we'll have him just run out and attack Ricky Starks, like, Jay White really proved himself by making, chicken out of that chicken shit they gave him. This is like, there's levels to this. We got plans for Ospreay. We got plans for Okada. We didn't know we was gonna get Jay White until all of a sudden WWE couldn't get him. So now we'll take him. It was one of those, and, like, you see it in, like, the thought behind both of them right now. So yeah, I'm really happy, and, like, I had a different thing in mind for him, but, like, this turned out to be better. So congrats. I'm not gonna be like, I'm not the person to be like, hey, this is what you should have done because this is how I had it in my head. Like, if you outdo it, hats off to you.
Yeah, I think there's so many cool matches waiting for Okada. People that obviously he wrestled everybody in New Japan aside from the youngsters, but just like Okada and Eddie Kingston is going to be such an interesting match. The second, like, Kazuchika Okada, like, taps into some of the thing Bryan Danielson says, that if he calls Eddie Kingston a bum, I'm gonna fucking scream. Like Eddie Kingston is bum. I can't wait for him to say that, and it's on immediately from there. And Kingston does all the talking anyway. So
yeah, that's another. Dr. Laird also mentioned it. He's like, Okada Pox is happening too. Then with Face to Face at Collision, I forgot about that. Yeah, like, the whole, he has 6 months just lined up, and, like, if Pac's gonna be in for his run for however long we got him for, like, yeah, do that. Like, he makes perfect sense as someone that could, like, challenge for the Continental Triple Crown, because, like, he was the first international or All Atlantic champion / international champion. So yeah, like, it makes sense.
They're going to be wrestling next week. I assume the finish is a Rainmaker to Kingston to basically set up the title match. Then he's beating Kingston at Dynasty.
Beats him clean.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. He's gonna beat him, and then the second like he wins that belt, then I think we're gonna get Okada versus Pac.
I kind of think Penta's the ones that are gonna be looking at the lights. Like to preserve that. Maybe to preserve that, like to save the pin on Pac and also Kingston, but like it could happen. We'll see. I know Pac can get pinned.
Yeah.
Not
until like, you know, not now at least.
Not until the singles match is what I mean.
They got, you know, it's gonna be cool to see Kazuchika Okada with another New Japan belt that is not the world title actually for the first time.
Good point. I mean, the Never Trios. You know,
the Never Trios. You know, he's still the Never Trios champion.
I mean, is he? I don't know.
Well, they just announced that there's going to be a one-night tournament, I believe, in the beginning of April, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, too many. Like, we know this roster goes like 12 deep at the top, like the very top level. So Okada versus all those niggas, run it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we definitely need to talk about from this show, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher have a 5-star match in front of me. Literally, just I'm right there looking at these guys, and it's just like the level of work is so high. These people that are around me, not all of them extra familiar with Ospreay, definitely don't know who Kyle Fletcher is.
Right.
But then like there were some folks that came around me. There was one part that I think it worked for what this guy was, because what Will tended to do in this match was give his back up a lot during this match when he's going for one of those running moves off the like he's going for the Oscar or something.
Right.
And the guy sitting next to me, he didn't look like he didn't seem like he was too familiar with Will or anything. He's like, you gotta watch your back. You gotta watch your back. Like he yelled it like 4 or 5 times, and then it leads to him actually hitting the Oscar. Dude is blown away by that point because he didn't know what was coming.
Okay.
Clearly.
He's like, why does this dude keep doing this thing, keep getting get countered out of and escaping out of? But what is he doing? What is he leading to? Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but this was sensational. This was Will Ospreay getting to go in there with his man essentially, and was like, hey, Tony was like, yo, go show the television audience now. 3 days later, after this Takeshita match was match of the year candidate, go get over with them now. Like, and this is what you want from these guys. I think he's got to, you know, obviously there will be questions about should you burn these style matches with that level opponent on how often you should do that, because if you're going that with, you know, lower level guys, main event guys, there's a difference. But I think Will Ospreay is he's definitely got to be careful, like with
you honestly feel that way, or are you just pointing out the criticism of it?
I think I'm pointing out the criticism of it, and I think there's something to that to be said, but I think his body is the more pressing concern, because like that thing that's on his like ass and back or whatever, like that bruise,
that rash,
like bro, that shit is real. Like I saw the shit up close, and I was like, God damn, like like it looked like somebody hit him with a hammer or some shit, like like a sledgehammer. And if he's, you know, as often as he's able to go like that, like this guy is gonna be, the sky's the limit for this guy. Like this is a superstar. Like there's nothing, like he converted that crowd instantly. Like this wasn't like them going to Arthur Ashe Stadium, Chicago, Greensboro, North Carolina, LA. This wasn't like this huge like people knew who Will Ospreay was, and he did get the Ospreay chants during the theme and stuff like that, but he was introducing himself to a lot of people, it seemed like.
Of course, yeah.
And he passed with flying colors.
That's
like
the thing.
All the stuff that people say that shouldn't work on, you know, these people that are unfamiliar. Bullshit. Like they were impressed with Kyle Fletcher. They were impressed with Ospreay, and it was just like, this guy's like, it's gonna be real. I know a lot of people were like, yeah, man, he shouldn't win the belt at Wembley Stadium. I'm here to tell you, if he does, I'm not going to be pissed, because like this guy can handle it. They can get more out of it by delaying it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This guy's a fucking superstar. Like it's like at this, like he's been the fucking man for 5 years,
Yeah.
like essentially as the best wrestler in the world. Like we all know this. Like this is something that's acknowledged in the industry, in the fans, all this shit. Like in those that are not aware or act as if they are unaware, they are having a real moment where they're looking around, scrambling to explain what they previously were saying about this man. Like,
I mean, they have the excuse is still in place. The same shit they were saying about like Omega or the Young Bucks is like they too many kickouts and they the matches are over are over the top and they're what do you call them grotesque or just too much. And it's like, yeah, but the crowd keeps getting louder and louder for the stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, there are matches where I'm like, all right, I get it, man, right? Like people, I actually saw a tweet about it. Adam Cole and Gargano from the New York Takeover, right?
Yeah,
right. Like people were like, "Yo, this is a bullshit match." I'm like, almost like everybody in the retweets are like, "Bro, this is like match." Like people are like, "This match changed my life," or "This match made me like one of like the greatest matches in WWE." There may not be a better match since WWE, like since then or whatever, stuff like that. It's like. This stuff comes down to taste or whatever else. And like, if a crowd full of 3,000 people or however many thousand people are losing their fucking minds over it, you're entitled to your opinion, but it worked with the crowd. So are they? Sorry. Like, and this is stuff that happens where it's like, we often say this. We're like, I didn't. Look, I'm just wrong on it. The crowd loved it. I didn't. I'm the dissenting vote. But like, people act like. Ospreay Russell's wrong. And it's like, nah, man. No.
Like there's too much like and it's just
sorry.
Like he wins the match in spectacular, phenomenal fashion. Just like I've got some of the clips I recorded ringside, just like that whole deal with the Poison Rana, like that was fucking nuts.
Yeah, that was nasty.
And then Ospreay wins, crowd fucking loses it.
Right.
Yeah, there were real haters out in full force, who shall remain nameless. But Brian Danielson's music then hits. Yep. And by this time, like he gets the pin, and then I'm walking to the back with Flash, and it's like, hold on, Danielson's coming out 1 second. And then I turn around and look, and then Danielson and Ospreay are going to face. I'm like, okay, they're not going to promo right now. So I just walk off. But I saw Danielson and Ospreay in the ring, and I'm like, Tony Khan's wasting no time. Right. He said, to hell with missing the window. To hell with holding it off.
Right. We
getting straight to the shits.
Right.
And immediately I was checking the calendar. I'm like, hey, man, what these flights to St. Louis look like?
I didn't think about that like that, but it just made me on my mind like this was such a great episode for like, hey, this is what we're planning to do at Dynasty. We're going to give you, Okada seemingly in a match with Kingston for 3 belts. Like we are giving you Ospreay versus Danielson. Like we seemingly are going to have Swerve win the title here in St. Louis. Like that's like, you don't really need to do much else. Like, obviously, I'm sure they'll do the tag team tournament final there or something like that, maybe.
Yeah,
but it's like,
yeah. And perhaps Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, her first match will be there too, presumably. And it's like, yo, this is already a card where like I'm excited to see it, and it's a month and a half away or whatever, or 5 weeks away. It's 21st of April, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like 5 weeks away.
It's like
getting straight to the shits.
Danielson versus Ospreay. What a match. This is going to be
really a match where it's like, 2 of the greatest wrestlers ever, but it's also super interesting because it's like, what is their mean the middle point on this? Like, and then it's like, it's not going to necessarily be like a Saber Ospreay match because like Saber and Danielson they don't wrestle exactly the same, even though they're super technicians. And Danielson kind of has this match that he has on autopilot. It just always works. And so does Ospreay. It's like, what's the meeting point? Where's the point in the middle where it works? And also like, how much from a gymnastics standpoint and flexibility standpoint, can Danielson do the stuff that Ospreay can do at a top level, or does it even matter? Right? It's really interesting to see how this works out. So I'm excited.
You know what it is. This is also a classic case of like, whoever you, we gonna find a way to say this is completely Bryan Danielson's match.
Yep.
This is completely Will Ospreay's match. Like, this is gonna be one of those classic, whatever guy you're into or whoever you don't like, you know, Danielson less so.
Yeah, they'd be like, Danielson carried him. Danielson absolutely carried him. It's like, you've never watched it. Oh, so you've never seen any of these Sabre matches over the years. That's exactly what this is. Like, that's exactly what you're saying. Like, if you think that Will Ospreay cannot technically wrestle, Matt and Shane wrestle or grapple, you just haven't watched any of the Sabre stuff. And that's fine. But like, you just don't, you haven't watched it do as much as I have for you to say this. You just lying. Or you're ill-informed. It's fine.
Look, wait till Will hits Danielson with a fucking hidden blade. Oh my God.
Does it need to be the scene blade to make it nastier?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Danielson better not do that shit. He better not do it.
That Caesar selling.
He better not sell the Caesar. He better not.
Seize up. Yeah.
Nah, man. That's a step too far. Keep that. Yeah, the 86. That one. Don't ever do that one again.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have people concerned. You're gonna have me being like, man, if you don't knock this goofy shit off.
Yeah. But AEW Dynasty set up, like, this nigga said he named the pay-per-view because he building a dynasty. And I'm looking at this roster. he might be right.
Rich.
he might be right.
Rich.
Yeah.
They got Moxley in a tag team right now. That's how hot they're cooking right now. Not to say there's nothing wrong with that, but you get my point. Like, the guy that would be the closest thing to the ace of the promotion of the last 5 years in a tag team right now. And it ain't like, quality-wise, nothing. There's been no come down. There's been a resurgence. Like, yeah.
I think Moxley's got some other plans to come.
Hey, man. I got
he's got his own big plans.
Hey, remember the, what was it called? What was it? 24 shit with MJF. What was it called?
The War 2024?
The War 2024?
Way the white flag.
Look, man. If you want to leave, then leave.
You know, I'm waving the white flag on the War 2024.
So you know how we be talking bad about Seth, right? And like I always had that meme of like there's a picture in Gorilla of Seth talking to Vince, and the caption is somebody put up the caption to Vince saying to Seth, "If you could break the ring down for me," he's like, "Hey man,
yes,
where we gonna get that picture of Tony Khan MJF in the back, and so I could put up the if you can break down the ring for me, because like the Freedmen Professional Wrestling, like the Creative Fed faction, it is not only is it not
Creative
like
Pro.
No, Creative Fed. Not only is
Creative
it not,
Fed.
Yeah, Creative Fed. Like, not only is it not like succeeding right now, it is barely surviving right now on AEW television. And AEW is so much better for it.
This is
hey,
we were moving right now.
The Hardys, their contract's coming up. Take it back to WWE. Take it back. Go get your checks over there.
We should probably talk about big business. Hell of a card set up for this week, including Jay White and Darby Allin. They had a nice face-to-face as well. They also have that aforementioned trios match. We have the happiest pro wrestling match of all time, Willow Nightingale versus Riho. We have
look, there's potential for some nastiness.
Yeah, there is.
There's some potential for some nastiness. If Stokely don't do it, don't make me come see you, Stokely. Don't ruin it for me. Don't. I do not want to see heel Willow Nightingale. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that would be something strange. We got Jericho and Hook against Gates of Agony, which was also set up on this show.
How long do you think that's gonna go?
They'll get 10 minutes.
Okay.
And there was one more big match that I can't think of. Obviously, the Elite Trios match. Oh, the world title match. Joe and Wardlow. And then, presumably, the debut of Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
So, it's finally here.
Yeah.
Mercedes and AEW. What do you think, man? What's this going to be like? Because I already see the stands are activating the tweets already. They're running gimmicks. They acting, they acting up. I got the bookmarks ready. You got your bookmarks ready, James?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You asked me what I think about what tomorrow may mean or whatever else. I think, tomorrow is the beginning of change. The dawn of a new day. They've already put in the work over the last few months with Women's Division, giving you like stuff to sink your teeth into with characters and matches and directions. But there is something lacking. And I think Mercedes will be, I think they set it up for Mercedes to be the person to plug in to make this, make this engine run. And, it's going to be fun. I don't think, I know, and you know this, that WWE did not appreciate her, in the way they should have. And, that's their loss. But we saw it work, in Stardom of all places, right? In New Japan, and New Japan Strong. And if she can kind of have this selective process that she's had so far out of WWE going forward on AEW television, it's going to work. And, the people that love her, I hope that you love her enough to want to stick around and see what she does. And if anything else, that you see on the screen in between waiting to see what she does grabs you, welcome aboard. This is the thing that's cool about, the part where there's two major promotions now. Is it used to be for so long, there was only one show in town, and they would take their ass to Impact or take their ass to Ring of Honor or wherever else, and people kind of just feel like their careers were over with. And luckily, me and Rich grew up in an era where there were two major promotions in America, and you left and went to the other one, and you had a whole new fresh set of matchups, and you get to see and swim on both sides depending on the politics at play or what you got going for you and kind of your opportunity. And this is a way less toxic era on both sides, as far as the wrestlers in the promotion and the booking compared to 25 years ago. So I'm glad this exists. This is another reason why, I talked about this with Sting's retirement last week. I'm so glad this other place exists for this moment. There's been so many people that have had to be over there in WWE, and they feel like it's on the show in town and it's on the place worth going to apply their, get out their passion for this and do it at a high level. And, that's no longer the case in America. And I'm happy to see that she can do this. And, I saw people talk about or made note of the part where she said, eventually I'll go back to WWE. Yeah. She's made most of her career in WWE. Going to the Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff, that's eventually down the line. I've said this to you before. Danielson, Moxley, they both need to take their ass back to WWE and get into the Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. Sure. Whatever. That's part of their careers, is it not? I'm not so, into the one or the other or anti the other that I'm just ignore all the time you spent working with these people, making your name here. You're going to be your old stomping grounds. You can't go back. If you can't go back, go back. I'm happy for it. But I'm happy for them that they've been able to find ways to do this at a high level outside of WWE. And it makes it better for us as fans that there's more places to do this. So yeah, I hope that, her run helps grow that and helps legitimize this place to people that will otherwise scoff at it because they don't know no better. And then when they hop online they're going to be insufferable and all that kind of stuff, and act like they don't know how stuff works or whatever else. But like, look, I ain't saying got to hold their hand, but just know that like we welcome they smug asses aboard this too. So that's how I feel.
Brewhaven had a couple funny comments. Triple H shows Sarah Logan's nasty feet over Mercedes. Triple H shows Hit Row over Mercedes. Triple H shows Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae over Mercedes. Several other people they saw fit to pay.
I don't know that, but they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what it always was coming to. From the moment that she handed that tag team belt in, I knew where it was going. We were doing segments back then, like, yeah, man, count the days. She's going to AEW. Get ready for it. If you don't like the promotion, whatever, deal with it. Like it was coming. Japan was like a pit stop order. It was like a bucket list item or whatever. Yeah. But for long term, big money in pro wrestling, AEW, especially if WWE don't want to pay you, they're missing out on people that they trying to pay or whatever, because TK is like, I will not lose. Like, so she comes in. She's a horsewoman. She's arguably the greatest wrestler this country has ever produced. And
greatest women's wrestler, yeah.
Yeah. And she essentially has an ally in creative already to basically ensure that her presentation is going to be right, her promos will be fine, or she'll have help in case they're not, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where it was all headed, so get ready, because I think there's a lot of people that would have good matches with her that I think is going to force people to start, of course, if they want to engage in good faith.
Right. That's that's obvious. I mean, I'm glad you brought up that qualifier, because we also got knowledge that people just are not.
Yeah, it's going to force them to look at the AEW's women's roster and be like, you know what? There's actually some hitters over here.
Yeah,
on the low, and then
that Hikaru Shida, she's good.
Yeah.
Where did you get her from? Oh, she was a champion.
People gonna
two times, huh?
People gonna see her wrestle Thunder Rosa, and then they're going, it's gonna be like, all right, everything that they've been trying to bury this woman like the last 2 years, all that's just gonna be out the window. Like,
I mean, it was already out the window during the IWGP run, like the match with Kyrie, the match with Mayu. It's, like I said, if you want to engage in good faith and you actually watch this stuff, it's not like Sasha forgot how to wrestle since she left WWE.
When she wrestles somebody like Queen Emanata, who's going to hit her, and Mercedes ain't got no problem getting hit.
Right. So, if you watch that Mayu match, you know that Mayu done that forehead.
So I'm telling y'all, this is, it's gonna be people that don't know how to feel about this. Like James said, bring your ass in, look around,
see what you like.
See what you like.
If you don't like it, just only check your shit out and go back to doing whatever you're doing. That's fine.
But don't come in here talking about, we just waiting for Sasha. All right, you gonna be waiting a minute.
Why are you treating AEW like you were never a leader, like people are never Trumpers? Like, there's a reason to be a never Trumper. A long fucking list to be a never Trumper. Never a leader. What the fuck did they do? Oh, they threw too many super kicks over there. Oh, okay, man. What was your favorite match for WrestleMania this past year? Oh, the tag match with the Usos and the Quebecers? Okay, get the fuck out of my face. All right, man.
Yeah. For years, we talk on this show about the perception around AEW and just the trivial shit that gets argued about. And this add the Mercedes Moné wrestler and the Mercedes Moné fan base into this as well.
Yeah.
it's about to go loco tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whenever they do this Mercedes Moné and Athena match, I think TK is protecting that for good reason.
He certainly is protecting. He protecting it so much. He is. Hey, we gonna put her over here, and we gonna let her just run. We gonna let Athena just rampage in Ring of Honor for over a year now. At this point,
I'm telling you,
or a year, whatever. But yeah,
I'm telling you, the moment they bring her back and say it's for something like Mercedes, it's gonna feel like this interpromotional match. Like it's gonna feel like this kind of big deal that.
And Mercedes is gonna say something nasty about the part where she ain't been over here, and Athena's gonna say something nasty about her. It's gonna yeah. I think that now that you mention, I never really thought about it. It's probably a match I want to see the most from Mercedes is her versus Athena.
That's gonna be something special.
Yeah, and look, and we know they're friendly. We know they're friendly. They've been friendly for years. So yeah,
can't wait. Let's move along. So I woke up the other morning and I saw Jack Perry standing with the rest of the House of Torture. As somebody that's a big advocate of Jack Perry's pretty much from day one in AEW. This was a hit. This was a hit to the morale.
Yeah.
This was a hit
Can I ask you a question?
I thought this was terroristic.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you dump any stock?
No. Ironically, I have not.
I would have lightened up on some shares. I like not all of them, not even a substantial amount, but I've been like, let me go ahead and just.
I found out.
Let me go ahead and pick up a quick $5,000 real quick.
I found out Jack Perry is now smoking crack, aka he has joined the House of Torture. And admittedly, I have not. I have not, bro. I was dying laughing with the promos. I was dying. I was like, bro, the stuff because he's doing that thing where he's an English speaker in Japan, where he's like trying to the way he speaks. Hulk Hogan has done it. Kenny Omega has done it.
Like the visual, like the body language and the hand gestures, jump up 5,000%. Yeah.
And then he's talking slowly. He's like, House of Torture. People are talking shit.
Yeah.
So I saw that.
Wait a second. I was like, when did you turn into Jay-Z in a late 90s music video where you just the hand motions everything all of a sudden? I don't recall this, Jack.
But
and then I like how you guys don't like these guys because they're different or whatever else, but you try to blame everything on them, like the scapegoat Jack Perry. I'm like, hey, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, it's bullshit. I don't believe you for a second. Just apply your time and become like the person that they bring over for Forbidden Door so they can say, here, y'all been playing all these past 2 years and there's never anybody from House of Torture. Here's your House of Torture member, Jack Perry from AEW. Evil.
Man.
Evil. Ren, stay your asses at home. We're not bringing you. Jack, come on. That's the real ploy. I can't wait till that
he's
happens.
Gonna walk in. He's gonna get, bro. I'm telling y'all that trying not to see it with Jack Perry. I'm telling y'all, this nigga is about to have these. He's giving out shots out to the Young Bucks in these promos.
Yeah, he is.
This guy, he's gonna be somebody that drives people crazy. He's is all lining up for him.
But is he going to drive people crazy? He's going to drive only a certain sect of people crazy because that's crazy to begin with.
That's a loud sect.
They are loud. They are loud. Yes, they are loud. Yes.
Look, and I have not checked any of them.
Not only are they loud, they ain't had nothing to be loud about since end of January because he gets hurt all the goddamn time now.
Loud and musty. They said, hey, I'm with Dr. Larry. Jack Perry does need to get some dreadlocks. with this. I think he could do it with the House of Torture. I feel like when you're with the House of Torture, you can lean into every terrible trope, anything you can do. Like we know them dreadlocks gonna look like they unwashed. Like for one, if he does it, we know them dreadlocks gonna look suspect. We know. I agree with you, Dr. Larry, but I haven't watched any of the matches yet. Admittedly, I was out of town last weekend, but yeah, man, it was it was a shock to the system. I felt bad for him looking at him like, all right, man, this is fucked up. Like I think for this guy's long-term trajectory, but if he can find a way to kind of like have fun within this and just kind of, because it's something completely different and far removed from what he was doing. So whenever it's time for him to come back, he can tap into whatever. It's another tool for the toolbox. But House of Torture is trash, man. No.
Ain't no way around it, man.
Ain't no way around it.
Ain't no way around it.
And, you know, I always see people try to say House of Torture is not that bad.
I only see like one or two people say that. Everybody else is like,
doing
nah.
too much, blah, blah, blah. But now y'all got stuck with Jack Perry, a dude from AEW, because we know y'all hate the people from AEW. So how y'all gonna deal with that? I can live with Jack Perry being, you know, temporarily with these, you know, these fucking trash ass, you know, whatever. You know, I can live with that momentarily because I'm gonna find bits of humor. I don't know why his backstage promos fucking like crack me up. I like they're hilarious, bro.
They are.
Yeah, I think he's set to face Sonata now. Like it's official. So get that win back.
Yep.
Jack Perry can fuck around and get to like the finals or some shit.
Possibly.
Like I don't think he'll win this thing.
Right.
Actually, he could. He could win.
That would be crazy,
you know,
if he won.
And then lose to the champion or whatever, right?
Like the Western Imperial fans will throw a fucking fit if he won. It will make it even better because like a lot of them try to defend House of Torture. It's like, well, what y'all wanted House of Torture to get prominently?
Yeah, it's House of Torture, right?
Yeah, it's House of Torture. I thought, no. Oh, he's white. Never mind. Okay, I get you.
It's gonna be some switch side, and you know, with all this.
AEW again, motherfucker. I can see it. I already see it.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be the IWGP champion.
No, that's crazy. They should, like, bro. If Naito loses his belt anytime before Dominion, I'm gonna be like, I'm just not gonna be happy. I'm just not. Like, what are we doing? So we set up for another fucking roll call. What happens this time?
Yeah. This is there's I'm just gonna keep that one to myself, but I'm totally into Jack Perry, but like this House of Torture thing is gonna be, it's gonna stink. Like I'm looking. How do we get Jack Perry out of the House of Torture? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Like I think he wants to be there. I mean, look at that, man. Look at that.
That goat mask.
And then you mention, look, a goat mask, a goat head mask, and then you mention you want to have dreads. Like, bro, don't. We going. Nah, we. You want this man to follow the buzzards? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, let's not look, Jack. Look, he in a bad place right now, but like he ain't gonna be there forever. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's I'm confident as ever. This is a major player in pro wrestling over the next 5 to 10 years. Write it down. Like he'll be there.
He's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler in the ring. I still need to see more from a character and talking perspective to buy in. I have nothing. I question nothing as far as in the ring. The bell rings and I love him, but I think that there's a charisma in talking and personality character thing that just needs to, needs to be figured out first, and I think he's there to find it, and that's fine.
Yeah. And the last thing I kind of had written down was the new updates. This was by I believe it was Front Row Sports or some Front Office Sports.
Yeah.
With Brandon Thurston and John Pollock. They unveiled that Nick Khan is corporate officer number 1. Stephanie McMahon, corporate officer number 3.
Yeah. I
did not get my hands on the full column of everything that was released. However, these people were named in the suit, and they were aware of the may or may not have participated in the cover-up regarding all this stuff. I think that, I saw people, leaping to celebrate that Triple H was not implicated. I'm sorry.
I don't know why people do this.
Like, my original point with all that, when I would say things like, yeah, man, people were ready to hop in front of this bus for Triple H, like on the night when all that shit broke and they went into fucking hysterics. My point wasn't that, hey, Triple H is corporate officer number 1. This is like, yo, what is the rush to abdicate him?
Right.
Why are we abdicating anybody or absolving anybody without just off the vibe? That's what they want to do. And I'm like, if Stephanie's in this thing, do you think Triple H is not are you saying his defense is stupidity or ignorance? Like, that only a stupid or ignorant person would think that he had no idea of this, or Triple H was ignorant. The smartest man in pro wrestling for the last 25 years, or one of the few, had no knowledge of all this going on.
Yeah, it does strain credulity. Yeah.
With Nick Khan, he's involved in this. He set up it's actually worse than if Triple H was CO number 1, because Triple H is just somebody that works there. Nick Khan is a board member.
Yep.
Nick Khan was facilitating all these deals.
Well, at what point was Triple H taken off?
Triple H also was a board member.
Right.
He also was. You're right.
Yeah.
But currently, as it stands, he's not a board member.
Yeah.
Nick Khan did all those deals, has those contacts with everyone that's gotten WWE into this great business space. Mm-hmm. But as we talked about with that Netflix deal, people seem to have just wrote this off like it's all completely finished and all that. I'm like, that money's not all the way paid out. Half of that shit is loaded with funny money anyway. And do you think Netflix does not have some type of escape clause? Because I would be shocked if they didn't.
I mean, we'll see. I imagine.
Like, if they were willing to call the sponsors for Slim Jim on Vince being part of the lawsuit, if Nick Khan's part of the lawsuit, even if he's not in the doing dirt section, if he's in the cover-up section, you're still in the lawsuit. So
if it comes down to it, they will unload. If it comes down to it, they will unload Nick Khan.
And who's Nick Khan's man? The Rock. All this shit's connected.
There are certain political plays that, like, The Rock even understands his hands are tied. The person has to go. Somebody has fallen on sword on this, or a number of people have fallen on swords for this. And if money starts saying, "Hey, Nick got to go," Rock may try to protest for a little bit, but he's gonna eventually be like, "Yeah, he got to go. Sorry, Nick. Thanks, but you got to go."
Do you think Triple H has read the lawsuit yet? Has he had enough time?
In real life or as far as keeping up the gimmick?
Keeping up the gimmick.
Oh, no. Too busy, man. Just in Australia recently. This booking thing's hard, man. This booking thing's hard.
Yeah.
Got to still see the kids, Nah, man, I haven't had time yet. Then he like the black Butch skin on Chappelle, knocks over the water, runs out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think this is, Stephanie being number 3, she was kind of already looked at as running a scam investigation on this whole thing. She's obviously quit and left the company twice.
Yep.
In this whole thing. It's almost like they knew a grenade got thrown in the room and they started running for the doors. And It's crazy because it was almost like WWE was for a long time thought it's too big to fall. It's too big to.
It is. I think I think the thing is, I think people also thought the McMahons were too big to fall, and now we're finding out no, there is a limit to this bullshit, and like WWE gonna be around. The McMahons will not if it comes down to it.
Yep, and it's like, we talked about The Rock and Brian Gewirtz connection. The next Booker's sitting right there. And Rock can always open up the Rolodex and find another business person if Nick Khan got to go. But, Nick Khan's very connected. So maybe he'll go quietly. Maybe he won't. But
he'll find – look.
He's made his money.
He won't – yeah, look. He's made his money and, he won't be unemployed long.
Yeah. I think this is just this is another chapter of this lawsuit that I think people are trying to make this thing go away. They're trying to forget about it. The news is looping back around, and I don't want to bang people over the head every week with every piece of it. But the big stuff we're going to bring in here, and we're going to talk about it and kind of measure where we're at. Because when this shit gets to Discovery, if it goes to court, if it's unsettled, because it doesn't look like a settlement would have already came if that's what they was looking for, right?
It's a lot of misplaced on Vince's part to try to keep this under wraps. He had the shit under wraps apparently, and then said, I'm just not going to pay. All right.
Look, he just sold a bunch of stock for what was valued at basically cashed out $412 million.
Yeah.
Is this a man that's preparing for a legal battle? Is this a man that is needs some cash on hand for something to give out big donations to someone who may be running for president to try to get himself cleared? TKO just letting him slide with that. I think he only has 9% left, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even know percentage anymore at this point.
On his stocks, bro. There's a lot of nasty stuff in the air. It's not going away. And guess what? WrestleMania is less than a month away.
Yep.
When WrestleMania leaves, there's no way to get away from this now. There's yo, this is your news cycle now. The bigger this thing gets. Especially they were yeah, man, people getting called in on this. We needed to open up the grand jury. What's up? There's no WrestleMania season to hide behind. There's no Roman Reigns title. There's no story to finish by then. You know.
There's I just think that I think the average wrestling fan is already.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
Right. That's where I'm at on this. I think it's going to take is the proceedings going through and it's hitting, more credible news desk, if you will. Not to say people are doing a good job right now, but I mean, a last week tonight, which isn't a new desk, but a comedy news, start hitting some of these CNN, NBC, it won't hit Fox News. But you get my point. Once it starts hitting those in more substantial ways,
hey, it might hit news. It might hit Newsmax because they were going in on it already.
Interesting.
I wonder what the play was there. Why? Because you would think they would be, turn a blind eye.
Look, some of them, they just so desperate for content and engagement farming that is we'll even throw our own under if it takes if so be.
Excuse me, News Nation, not Newsmax.
Okay,
sorry,
never mind. All right, yeah. So who knows?
Appreciate it, Brewhaven. But yeah, Nick Khan, you're CO number one. I sent a tweet to Slim Jim just to make them aware of I was doing my good Samaritan duty. Hey, are y'all aware that Nick Khan is also in this? Do y'all want him to get out of here? Just trying to cause chaos. But
the clip of Nick Khan doing the interview with Bill Simmons after Vince.
Yeah,
that was not. what else can you possibly be talking about?
Yeah, man. It's family stuff. All right. There is some cap somewhere.
Like, it's not going nowhere. It's definitely not going nowhere. So.
Yeah, man, but I have nothing else written down as far as, the topics and all that. We still are holding back the 2K ratings segment. I have not gotten the game yet. I do have all the ratings, but we'll get to that, coming up in one of these weeks where something is, where it feels like a light week or something. That 2K ratings segment going to come in handy. So
I want to do some fun for the show next week. Depending on how much new stuff is out there from big business and everything, or whatever happens with the real world of pro wrestling or the dark side of pro wrestling. But a few years ago we did a top 5 favorite rap lies or whatever else.
Yes.
I want to do. I listened to a song that was it was interesting. Like, it wasn't even a rap song. It was someone singing who, whatever. We gave this person, because they were so talented, a lot of artistic license to do whatever they wanted. A lot of shit went over that wasn't supposed to work. I'm not talking about Wayne. I'm talking about a producer. But yeah, like,
I thought you were talking about R. Kelly.
No, I would not say I was listening to R. Kelly on I would not be telling people that in public. No, and I don't.
I didn't even think about that.
I don't think I've ever talked about this story online or on the podcast, or like, I listened to R. Kelly 12 play a few years ago for the last time, and I was like, I'm playing it one time for the last time, and then, like, I'm deleting it off my hard drive. I'm blocking R. Kelly shit on all of my on Spotify and streaming, all that kind of stuff. And, like, I was like, yo, like, seems like your radio is fucking insane. It's insane. It's like, it's one thing to be problematic. Another thing where, like, the thing that you're problematic for is what you're singing about. And it's like, all right, you gotta have a line. Some people got lines and some people don't have lines. If you have lines, that was my line. I was like, nah, can't do it.
Look,
can't do it no more.
The lyrical breakdown for Seems Like You're Ready. Oh my God.
It's insane. So, in a similar vein to the line I heard, it made me think, hey, that's crazy. It was this particular year. You are this particular age right now, which means you are this particular age at this time. And you said this, and that's nuts. That's wild. So, like, I want to do a favorite what lines in rap, right? Or just in any music, whatever else. And, like, just ones where, like, hey, this will slip past the radar. It should not have.
This shouldn't have left the studio.
No. Like someone said this on a popular song. No one criticized this person. No one criticized them and said, how the fuck did this slide, right? Or how did this slide?
Do you have an example of that one that will not blow the major one you're holding back?
I mean, it didn't slide, but we talk about all the time the Wayne and Birdman on number one stunner.
Like, Wayne and Birdman.
He's like, me and my son Weezy, when Wayne's like 17, 18 at the time, Baby's a grown man, and in the song, in the end of the verse, he says, I like to fuck him in the ass while Wayne beat up the pussy. He's like, y'all double teaming out? Y'all running handicap matches with a person that may be a minor? Are you out of your mind?
Sick.
But everyone has that joke. I'm talking about one that's like, I heard this, I was like, wait, what? But maybe do a top 5.
I had to look around. But
yeah.
One thing I do want to plug, our boy MJ Does PR is also running the annual Social Suplex March Madness tournament.
Oh yeah. I got to change my backdrop back to, since we talking about college basketball again. So
if you guys join into the Discord, look for the Discord Daddy. There is a tweet that he has that's embedded in the Discord if you want to sign up. We're not giving no money away. This is strictly for the love of the game. Bragging rights. come in there, bring your knowledge, and Selection Sunday is this Sunday, so picks need to be in before game time. Thursday, we had, I believe, the rest of the tournaments will finish up this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Championship weekend, all the tournaments and everything end on Sunday, and then you do selection, in the afterwards. It's normally Sunday around or evening, like around 5 or 4 or something like that. So
if you want to jump in that, definitely check in the One Nation Radio Discord, as well as the that channel, as well as the men's college basketball or NCAA basketball thread, which is where he has the longer, if you want to know more about it. So definitely check that out.
Yeah. Hopefully Carolina can steal this last 1 seed. We'll see how this goes. Thanks for listening, y'all. If you are watching the stream, you can donate to the show by going to the podcast, go to the show notes, and clicking on the red link, the red circle link for donations. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, you have Russell Art with Chris Plan, you have Tomo Talk, you have the Sarah and Trish Wrestling Podcast, you have All Things Elite, and
Trish and Sarah.
I said Trish and Sarah? What did I say?
You said Sarah and Trish. It is the
Fair
Trish
enough.
and Sarah
Fair enough.
podcast.
Fair enough. You're right. I fucked it up. I fucked the money. My bad. And you also
have SEO.
What?
I said that's the SEO.
Yeah. That's why I said I fucked the money. You're right. And then you also, I've lost track of the last show. It's WWE Adventure. Yeah. So thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Armando Bacot is at North Carolina longer than Ed Cota.
Peace.